Benchmark seam.
Yep. Here we go. So we are sneaking in early here. So yeah, we'll wait until we get a raid or anyone coming in, so we can just
Nice.
sneak around and start. Oh, that looks cool. Is that
Um,
Monopoly houses?
yes, I have
Oh,
33 of them.
that looks awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just 33 little guys that we can turn
Mm-hmm.
and twist and
And then you can like mini Monopoly castles and keeps and all sorts of little
hmm
simple
hmm
things. That
all
is
I have to do
super
is
cool.
make a bunch of different
Hmm.
towers and
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
buildings and that stuff.
exactly.
This
That
is just basically for village houses.
yeah, this is awesome. Well, that's like big city houses and stuff.
hmm
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. I
Hmm.
just had a bunch of roof lines.
Hmm.
Underneath each one of these is
Yep.
a roof line
Yep.
that I followed.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm just doing that, and then I'm unwrapping them now so I can apply um, textures to them,
Yeah.
and we'll see what they do. See if I got it right.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope, not anywhere near right. Okay.
Ex
So I want to. Why
Hang on a
is it
second. I
doing
have that
that?
in Photoshop. I think I need to fix that in.
Unwrap. Okay, that's closer.
I think it's this one.
What am I doing
You
wrong
can
here?
save it in.
I gotta hide some stuff. I
Hmm.
can't see what I'm doing. Hide and
Oh, we have one more viewer. Hello,
nice.
welcome. We just sneaking in here early, so we are going to wait for see if Blue Box raids into us. That will be the kind of the real start of the live stream. So working here, and then we
Hmm?
can explain what we're working on and stuff. Hello,
Hello,
Scott.
Wiley.
Wiley Hobbit.
Wiley Hubbits.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, it's Linda and
Um,
me. We're working on stuff today. Again, I'm going to do some combination of World Machine and Photoshop stuff today. So, yep. Oh,
and I
awesome.
am one of your streams.
Yep.
Cool, cool. Thank you
Yep.
for being here.
Yep.
And I'm playing with Monopoly houses, unwrapping them in 3D so I can make the textures.
Hmm.
What I'm going to do with these is take the texture or the UV layout into Photoshop so I can do the UVA or the detailing design in there because these are going to be viewed from at least a half mile up in the air, so you're not going to see any full detail. So I just want image, like squares
Yep.
drawn on them to be
Hmm.
um, that way.
Yep.
So I'm trying to figure out how to unwrap them so I can have a nice clean model. And it's not working quite like I want it to,
Yeah.
but we'll get there.
Yeah. And my
Um,
project will be some trying to mend some errors that comes up when I'm doing tiled large renders in World Machine.
mhm.
So this will be a kind of an experimental, because this is one of the things I want to solve, and it could be interesting to do that while I'm forced to sit here and do it for 2 hours. Otherwise I can get squirrely. I want to do something else. So this is something I want to wrap my
Um,
brain again around and fix. So now I need to do copy this so
trying,
I get the
I'm
texture
trying to
here.
do this all in one solid strip of
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and it's not
Yeah.
working like I want it to, but I'm going to figure it out one way or
Okay. Oh,
another.
that's like building these little paper models where you fold
Exactly.
and stuff, but in virtually. So, yep.
Exactly what I'm doing is trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure out how to lay it flat by
Yeah.
cutting edges. And it's not easy sometimes to get this all figured out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna add a
Okay, now I
seam
need to
there.
save this as a texture here for just for the heck of it. And come on, Sheen Lens 1
Mark seam A
and JPEG.
unwrap. Haha,
And
getting closer. Okay, now why
this
are you
is
warping?
X4Y2. X4.
Oops, nope. Straight next, nope.
Y2. No, it's
Okay,
X5Y2.
that looks good. Now if I can just get
X5Y2.
that bunch straighten. Scale X 0.
Hello, little Mike. Welcome.
Little Milk, how you doing?
So,
He's gonna shoot me one of these times if I keep calling him Little Milk, but that's okay.
uh-oh. Okay. Yeah,
He'll survive.
yeah.
Um, Little Mike, I'm gonna catch up with you after the stream because I got some ideas that I want to swing past you for 3D models too that I might need your help with. So
That
I'll
one.
catch up with you after stream. And why are
Okay, now
you
I need to
selecting? I want vertice mode. Oh, that's what I want.
combine one to the other. Hopefully this could work because they're in different areas. So I can just do this. And we do overlay view now. It will... Yes, it works. Haha. Kind of works at least.
That's the one. What in the
It
heck is
doesn't
going on
look
here?
perfect, but we'll see. I get some... I need to... there we go. Turn that blue color off. Okay. Hello, Justinius.
Hello, Justinius. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're on tonight because there is no Legends and Lore show on Lord Gusumba channel tonight, so that's why we are sneaking in here and doing some live streaming to cover the to kind of to so there is something going on, so to speak, among the Greyhawk. Oh yeah, Jay is okay. He's just on some work trip down in Texas or something, doing something. So he's away from work. Yep. And this is now a first test. I'm actually putting together two pieces here, and there is no... I can't see where the edge is, which is a good thing. So they look like they're clean. So the concept is good. And these are just raw textures from... Hang on a second. This is only one of them, so now we need to... Come on here. Ah, yeah, there we go. So we... so that's why it's not looking good. Ah, stupid me. I need to look here, and then I need to main extents and stuff. So there's something gone wrong here. So I need to... Yep, that is actually working. Yep. Now why the heck isn't this working
So
then?
that's that face. These two here.
That
It's
is not
this
working.
one.
So okay,
Okay, so that's working all right. Just have to get the
that
thing
is
straight here.
working.
So,
And
whoa, nope, wrong way.
okay,
So,
why the heck? Ah, we do it this way then.
okay, why are you still insisting on moving them all as one? Hmm.
Okay, I need to do another type of mask. Okay, now I need to...
What in the world is going on here?
I need to do... I'm just gonna do a layout and call this... hang on a second. What should I call this? So I know what it is. I'm going to call it... no, going to call it new viewport. Okay. Port mask. So
And what is it you're trying to do tonight?
now I'm trying to... I have, when I render things really like large areas, I need to render them in tiles. So,
Hmm.
so the big picture is rendered in pieces, so to speak. And the problem is that there are some things that don't work because each of the pieces are treated as its own little universe. So occasionally there will be
Oh,
issues on the
okay.
borders, and then
Mhm.
I want to be able to go in and fix these issues afterwards.
So you can mesh the two borders together
Yes,
better.
I can. Yeah,
Oh,
especially like
okay, gotcha.
rivers going the wrong way and elevation differences and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
therefore, I'm now doing a special file where I can take two of these areas, set them up with textures next to each other, and then start manipulating elevation and stuff, and then save out each area as its own separate files again, so to speak.
Okay,
That's
gotcha,
the
gotcha,
goal
gotcha.
here. So I was struggling even
Okay,
with that first. So here we go. So
now
now I have
is
that is it. So I need to,
GX. Oh man.
and this is weird because I'm not want to do one or the other. I want to mask that one. Okay, there we go. Uh, Viewport mask. I do a box here and I just put it there. There we go. So, and now I have no fall off distance. I can have a few meters fall off distance. Now I tried zero fallout just for the heck of it. That seems to work even with the... Okay, here we go. Now I need to do a third viewport. New extent. Viewport 3. And I allow and height 28 kilometers.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to do the unwrapping after I get them into individual
Yep. Here we got
files.
the two here. So now I need to
Yep.
just
Okay.
test it, and I'm going to test it in full resolution just for the heck of it and see here. Yep. Yep. So this operation is now I'm setting up the template to do this. And here we have them in full resolution, and there's a couple of issues here. I was aware of them, but if I look at the elevation, and these are texture issues to be fixed in Photoshop later, but when I look at it like this, I can see no errors in they look perfect. Good. I'm testing this on a set of tiles that I actually have adjusted before, so I know they work, so to speak. So I have a clean line, and look at this line. You can see the difference in Photoshop texture because they are not fully edited yet, but look at the elevation. There is no border here. The only issue is this little bit here, but that if you look at it, it's a tiny little error, but it's mostly texture problems, not elevation problems, because when you go down in this level, you can maybe see a tiny little bit, not much. So this is, yep, this is definitely good enough. It is almost perfect. It's like 99% there, which I'm good. The rest is texture thing. So okay, so now I'm going to save this because now we have a file that actually works. So now I'm going to change the data to the area that I'm actually interested to fix, and that is an area in Altamira. So now I need to go to Altamira, and we have an area here. So let me present what I'm going to do. Here is the Altamira area, and the city of Altamira is here, and I want to do um, a thing that is the first map is going to be these 4 tiles, and there is an issue with this river here. So this river actually starts up here, and then it flows this way. So it basically starts here, and then it flows here, and then it flows this way. So, but when it comes down to the edge here, it doesn't think that the edge, so it actually flows the other way. So this one here thinks it's flowing that way, so they kind of collide here in the middle. So what I want to do is to make sure that the terrain is actually sloping down towards here the whole way. So I need to start fixing it from here to about here. That will be the goal, to see if I can fix this. So I'm going to load this tile and then fix this bit here in the valley and check it. I don't know how much is wrong, but a little bit is wrong. So now I need to load those two areas into the template here. So now I've saved this, so I'm going to save it as a number 2. Terrain height adjustment. Okay, now we need to load the data for this instead here. And that is Altamira. Now I need to find x3y2. So the top one is
And all the exciting stuff I'm doing right now is exporting each one of these as a separate FBX file so I
okay.
can,
Uh-huh.
work on it individually
Yeah.
and not have to hide all 20 or 37 when I'm working on the rest of them.
Yeah.
So
And
that way I can get it all organized.
I realize I should have. I'm going to look at the data with the elevation with water first, and then go without water afterward, because that's the one I need to fix. But first, look at the end result. So x3y2, x3. You have to look at things here. x3, 3y2. That's the one. And that one is the one below. That is x3y1, x3y1. Place into current. No, that was the. Uh-oh. I need to change the. No, I think that one. I need to change the. I need to have the main extents, the right extents, in order to do it. So okay, so we have x3y2. There's so many things to keep right here. So place into current view. There we go. That's the one. And now we need to change to viewport 2 and get that one, and that is x3y1. That's the one. And place into current view. Okay, and now we need to go back to that one and need to set the right texture. So we have composite water, we have x3y2. Place into current view. There we go. And then we change that viewport. A composite x3y1. Place into current view. There we go. And now we have both of them, and I'm going to save it, and then we look into it here and we build it. Now it's time to look at it and see what we got here. Okay. So now when I'm looking at it, it actually, yeah, here is the problem, I think. Yep. Here is the problem. This bit here, the river is supposed to start up here, and that works perfectly fine. And then it flows gently down here, and then it actually, so one bit comes from there, flows this way, because now you can see it's flowing down here, there, down into here. Oops, that is, come on, there we go. So it's actually flowing, so here is the lowest point, and then there's another lowest point there. So I need to take this valley somehow, see if I can bring that to flow downhill the whole way, because, and now comes the big issue here. Should I correct this or not? Because you might want to have and say that, well, the one over here is might actually be what they call vernal or something. There is no way out for the water, so accumulate. So we can create a lake here and simply say that once it reaches a certain level, it leaks out through the mountains. That's one way, or it just evaporates once it reaches a certain. It's the balance, so to speak, like a vernal. It doesn't have any outlet. But to me, that's kind of boring. I would love to see if we can create a river, an area that actually goes down here. I'm not so sure that's possible to do in a in a realistic way. So that's the tricky bit here. So now I'm starting to see if I can wrap my head around the magnitude of the problem. First, I need to check that this area here actually flows the right way, so we know what elevation to start at. Yep, this one goes down in here, so this is the elevation to start at. So now I'm going to take this, because we have already a function for that, so I'm going to bypass, and I've already built in a function where I can.
There, I had to do some file manipulation there for a second.
Yeah.
Oh, FBX.
Oh, okay, and then I can. There we go. I put signal color on that, so it will be very visible what we're doing. So now I can actually create. Oh, there we go. Here I can actually find out where the lowest bits are. That seems to be the lowest bits. No, it's not. So, it's because I have the wrong. Hang on a second here. There we go.
Why is it creasing sharp? That shouldn't be doing that. Why are you doing that?
Here we go. Now I can actually take it in here and start measuring where the lowest bits are. So the lowest bit up in is this bit here. So here is the, let's do this. The good thing when you work with terrain that is already rendered is that you can render it in basically full resolution in seconds, because I don't need to do erosion or any of that stuff. So here we have some, and this is weird, we have some stuff up here that seems to be.
Hello, Greyhawk Mike. Thanks for the hype train.
Hello. Oh, he's doing hype thing. It's not a hype train yet. We're not.
Not a hype train yet. Oh,
yeah.
Shucks.
But now I have an issue here. For some reason, is that, yeah, this is weird. When you look at it, this looks like it's way higher up in the mountains. But when you, oh yeah, it is. There's something weird going on. Now I need to check this. I think it's this that I need to do this, and then there we go.
Why is it doing that?
There's a lot of data and stuff to take into consideration. And now I think we got the, yeah.
It doesn't change it either.
Yeah, it's good. It will be wonderful to see you both of you. And here is I'm not so sure this operation is as easy as I thought. I'm still trying to wrap my head around things, but now I have an elevation thingy because this is actually going downhill there. And in this case, it might actually be better because this is this valley where you have a hidden population of giants and halflings living together. So in some ways, I think it can make sense if it's an area where there is no river flowing out through this valley. So the water actually stays in the valley. But on the other and so this water might actually leak off into a kind of into the Underdark or something instead of flowing all the way downhill. So that might be one of the reasons this is more isolated because it's not. It is isolated, but it's not super isolated. So I'm thinking about now to actually let this be. But on the other hand, I know there will be areas I want to fix this. So I think I will have one go and see how the heck this is being, how this can be handled. The problem is that it looks so cool when you look at the texture. So I need to create myself some sort of other way of coloring things because otherwise I would simply it will look so ugly. So to just look at it from without any. So now I need to. I think I had a. Did that look? That didn't look that good. I thought one of the problems with this is that when you save something like this in in the in World Machine, it never stays that way. So now I need to see if I can find some other one here. I'll Classic Mountains. Okay, just keep that one for the moment and create another output so we can see things here.
Yeah, I haven't gone to Gen Con yet, but I think it would be something amazing to go to.
Yeah, Gen Con is a lot. It's a bit like the Hodge for role playing gamers or something. You need to.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's like a major overwhelming, like one of the
Yeah.
guys was saying in
Mm-hmm.
chat. It's like, oof.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm overwhelmed by GaryCon because there's just so many people all the time. Oops, I don't want a face there. I want a C. There is what I want.
Now I need to create one of these scales that actually works
For a
for.
C.
And I'm going to
C.
create real mountains here. There we go. And now it's time to move that down a bit here.
I don't normally get nervous at the cons. It's just that I'm kind of almost like get anxiety. I have too many people around me. I just don't care for that many people around. Don't get me wrong, I love being there, but it's just, yeah, my whole body just says, nope, enough. Let's go home.
Yeah.
Or let's go someplace quiet, like a quiet corner somewhere, and I'm perfectly happy. But I just don't care for uh hello, Cannibal. How are you doing?
Hello, Troy. Now I
A
need to.
unwrap. We are fantastic, Cannibal. How are you doing tonight?
We're trying to. Yep.
That might be a good idea because I stayed in the city last time, and while it was convenient, it was not really that much fun trying to navigate and find your way around. Gee. Ha, this is working much better.
Hello, Blue Box.
Tune that.
Welcome. It's Linda Booth and me, Anna B. Meyer. We're sitting
Party at
here working on.
47.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. So we're
Nice.
sitting here and we are working on cartography today. Normally we do this on Friday evenings, but since there is no Legends and Lore show today, we thought we'd do it on a Wednesday. So welcome everyone. I'm working on in World Machine I'm working on a piece of Altamira, but it's more like a test case to see if I can adjust terrain that is already being rendered, because there are some glitches and issues with it. So I'm going to see if I can fix one of these issues, and that's why this looks a bit artificial. I can actually switch and we can look at the more gorgeous view, and we can actually tweak this, and
Let's
we can
see.
look at
Can
this is what the
I?
terrain is looking like.
Nope.
Thank you, Gaetano.
Let's
Yep.
see. Scale it
So
up so I
so
can see
this
what I'm
this is
doing.
what the terrain actually supposed to look like, so to speak. And I'm going to see if I can fix the elevation in this valley. I'm not so sure that it's probably going to be more difficult than I thought. So, and it's also across two tiles that I'm put together. But the good thing is that the tiles actually match each other, so in that sense it works really well. So I'm going to, and Linda, you're working on little monopoly houses.
Monopoly houses. Yep.
Yep.
These could easily be made into 3D printable stuff because they're so simple. All I had to do is add a bunch of geometry to it and it'd be ready to go. But I
Mm-hmm.
have not tackled that beast yet. I have not got into the point of doing 3D printable stuff yet because it is a totally different bear than I'm used to. Zero. Oh boy, that looks like it made a mess. Let's try again.
That's the way to do it.
I'm just trying to straighten my roof line here so it looks like
Yep.
something.
And I'm going to see where I need to go in
Let's
and
see.
tweak this a bit here again.
That one. Let's see, we're gonna go that way,
Okay, now it's time to look
that
at it
way,
from this perspective here.
that way.
Come on. There we go. Now I have this damn issue with Max. It is select slope. Okay. So that is why I get these issues. So now I need to figure out that my problem is when I look at this here, is that I get these areas here that are flat up here, but I only want these areas to be pink where and this is really technical. I only want them when I've added the constant, that this value from the constant is higher than the input value of the terrain. And I was lazy and just set a slope. So now I need to single out this difference with this difference. So somehow I need to. Okay, this
Um,
is
and
math in a weird way. So yeah,
and no, I won't be going to GaryCon this year. I simply can't afford it. I wish I could. I would love
yeah,
to
would
see
have been
everybody out there
yeah,
again,
would
but
have been wonderful to have you. Yep.
yeah, unfortunately, money in pocketbook says
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
living as a freelancer isn't always cheap. So
Mhm.
it
I'm so happy that I can go
kind of
as
took
it.
a chunk out of my pocketbook this year, but
Yep.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Mhm.
So,
Yep. and I'm thankful you can go as an invited to the convention as a special guest. So I'm so
Hmm.
happy for that. So thank you
You
everyone
got
who
very
made.
lucky. I wish
Yep.
I could do that, something like that. That'd be cool.
Oh, you work
Um,
on your 3D stuff here, and that will happen sooner or
I'm
later.
working on it as fast as
Hmm.
I can. So,
Yes, Scott, it will be so awesome to see you and to give you a hug for all the awesome podcasts and stuff you've done, you and and oh, hang on a second. He's one of my top patrons. So we have Hobbit and yeah,
you're
Hobbit
supposed to
hugs. Yeah,
you're supposed to have all of those names memorized, Anna.
hmm
Come on.
I know.
Um,
I talked to him a week ago or 2 weeks ago on Zoom. Oh, yeah,
and the brain just goes, nope.
Canadian awesome guy. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, my memory recollection is terrible, especially when I'm trying to solve the math problem here at the same time. So now we need to I need to do
Be very,
this.
very quiet. She's doing math.
Yeah, I'm trying to. So if I do this and put
Let's
this in
see.
here and I select this. So now I need to extract differences. No. Detail with differences.
Hmm.
Absolute differences. No. Ah, hang on a second. I need to do this in first step. So I need to do divide. There we go. There will be something, I think.
What's going on there?
I think divide is probably the one to go for. So this is really tricky. What I
Is
need
that
to get.
it?
This is 3D mathematics, so to speak. So here we go. This is probably. I single out this area right, and these are getting. Yeah, I think I need to. I'm taking that, and then I need to. Think I need to put an invert filter on it. Invert that value. And now we have these areas sticking out in the terrain, and we have a couple of spikes, but I can probably get them out. So we have that area and that area. And if we look at this, that actually works. Yeah, that is correct, I think. So if we look at this, I think that's, yeah.
Okay, I think I've got my layout so I can color it in Photoshop when I get that far,
Yeah.
except for I'm going to
So if I put that
move a
in there
couple little bits
instead
here.
and do
No,
this.
no, no. Get rid of that. And let's see, this is a, which face is that? Arc.
And I get tiny bits of pink here, a little bit of pink and a pink. I get a pink slip. So now I need to do some
There's
tweaking
that
here. I need to
face.
do
So this one is that one.
a
So
bias
I need
gain
to
here.
make these a little bit bigger.
There we go.
Oh, why do I have a seam there when it's not a seam?
And now
Hmm.
I go in here, and now I think I weeded out all these little tiny errors up in the mountains. So
It's
I'm going
not
to double
there.
check here.
Okay,
Yeah, they're
so it
great.
did
Mateus is the
Smart UV. Try
Wily Hobbit's partner in doing the awesome
that.
podcast. Great
Uh,
cast. Yeah.
Not what I wanted to do either. Hmm.
See, now I solved
Right.
the mathematical problem. These flat areas up here are, yeah, he is.
Mm-hmm.
So now I actually solved it. So these flat areas up in the mountains are not. It's only where my artificially inserted constant exceeds this here.
Okay,
And the
so
reason is that I want to use, so I know what
Z
values to put
X.
in. It's kind of me experimenting here, so I'm trying to figure out how to go about it. I wanted to see what areas I actually need to fix. And if I want to have this valley going down to this, I need to take it from here
Black and
all the
white.
way down to here. So now I'm going to try and see if that works. So now I can save this, and this is kind of tricky. This is world machine tricky. At least for me, this is really tricky. It's not the easiest thing to do. So okay, so we have all the terrain. Now I'm going to move all this viewing and exporting over to the right here so we can insert some more crap. Okay, so we have here we have the actual terrain coming out, but I don't want, I want the terrain before the that is actually just that is just a test thing with the constant and stuff here. So that is just a signaling device. So I'm not going to use that. I'm going to set up a new, and now I need to, yeah, I just for just to be sure, I save it as a new. I might have already done that, but I'm going to save it as a new new file name here. So okay, so now time to set up a new adjusted view here.
Okay, 1 out of 33 done.
Okay,
Will take me a
cool.
while.
Yeah,
Gonna take me a while, unfortunately. File, save, file, new,
and here we
general,
have the this view. I'm
import.
going to use these simple coloring like this and start with that. So, and we have this big thing here. I need to cut a river valley through there. And now I'm just gonna start doing this simple thing here. So I'm just gonna take a layout generator and put that on top of this and call it adjust. And now we can just go in here and basically start adjusting the terrain here. Maybe I
Okay,
should have
another
used,
one.
I can actually go,
Edge, clear sharp.
I can use that over, hang on a second. I can use that overview and then go double click here. Here we go. That is not a good idea. I realize that is not a good idea.
Gotta have some bad ideas now and then.
Yeah, now I um,
Um, that isn't gonna
I
lay
should
flat.
use the, oh, I changed that thing to, there we go. Now I have the colors to go by. So we have, I need to start over here and then work my way all the way down. And yeah, that actually should work. Okay, so here we go. So that is 4,300 and blah blah something. So I need to just add, let's start from here just for the heck of it.
When you get to a point of where you can break away and switch screens, why don't you put yourself on the front? Because I'm not doing anything super exciting right now. I'm just
Yeah,
marking seams. You're doing much more
okay,
exciting stuff than
yeah.
I am.
So I'm going to, yep, hang on a second here. Sources, I'm going to move my little thing up there. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going in here again. And please show me, there we go. And this looks completely terrible awkward, which it should do to begin with, but to make it look a little bit less awkward, I'm going to introduce some breakup. So I'm going to bring down the breakup scale to about 600, roughness 4, and then go in here. Okay, so now we need to bring this down to just proof of concept here. There we go. Then we bring it in. Okay, so that one is 4,000. So let's start with this one at let's just do 4,000 the whole way, just to 4,000 meters here.
Oh, wow. Blue
Oh
Box
wow!
RPG gifted subs. Thank you.
Awesome! Thank you, John. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely fabulous.
Yep. So here we have. I'm going to do a little bit like this.
Blue Box loves you, Anna.
Yep.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
cancel.
you. Yep. We're trying to
Oh,
go,
no.
but people, everyone who's new, Linda and me, we get so caught up in what we're doing. So I try to keep an eye on chat like once a minute or so, but we get so caught up in what we do, and we just sit here and
Mm-hmm.
mumble by ourselves, just working, trying to figure things out. And what I'm trying to do here is kind of very technical, trying to see if I can solve this issue without too much. I'm trying to cut a natural canyon through and through this valley and see if I can adjust these height
That's an
maps
absolute mess.
into working better, so to speak. So now, okay, so go in here and I need to break up participation,
Oh,
bring it down to
wrong
like
button.
that or something.
Wrong button. Wrong button.
And now
Let's see.
see what we got here.
I
And
want
now I need to add some
show.
erosion to this too.
Uh,
So here we have
Reset
non-eroded,
vectors.
just like someone is digging through the valley, and you see
Object.
this is. But
Shape
we have the
fields.
right. It has the right
Okay.
idea here. So we actually have this works. So I'm going to just keep adding a few,
Editor.
adding another one of these all the way down. So we
Okay, so
have the.
this made in mess. So that works. That doesn't.
Now I'm actually going to. Do, do, do.
So where do my cuts need to be? All right.
I'm
Well,
going to take.
go back down to one at a time, I guess, until I find the right combination.
Hang on a second. Now I need to start thinking here.
See, I need that. Take that off.
I'm going to take it there just for the heck of it.
And take those off.
And now we should have.
Now, what does it look like? Unwrap. Okay, that's not a total disaster. I'll say 90 so I can see what I'm doing. G.
There we have a start. And I'm going to try and erode it. I'm just going to build on it here. So we have a 4,000 there. So I'm just going to add another line and just keep adding through. Come on here. There we go. There we go. And just keep adding one down here. And with erosion and some other little tricks, it might actually
Hello,
work.
Enoch Prack Sundown Sensei. Wow, that's a name.
Yeah. Hello,
But hello.
Enoch. Awesome. There we go. And now I'm going to bring that down to 4,000 meters. And I'm going to bring the to 75. I'm going to bring down the.
So
I want a small kind of like that.
My seam is there. So it's like this. So I need a cut here. Cut
there we go.
So let's do that.
Okay, now it's time to look at this, because now I actually think we have a height that works. So now I'm just gonna adjust this
Oops.
constant and see if it's actually,
Okay, it's getting closer.
whoops, there we go.
Um,
So if we set that to
these two. See.
4,100 meters, it should go through the whole canyon, kind of. So we see what
Did
we
it
got here.
do? Nope, not what I want to do. Not what I want to do. Let go of my controller. All right,
Almost.
so
That
get
is,
rid of those.
we'll bring it up a bit here.
Get rid of those again.
4,600
And all
meters.
unwrap.
Yep,
Okay,
I
so
think we got
now
it here.
this is, I gotta rotate this again so I can tell what I'm doing.
Working and lurking, that's perfect, Enoch. Yeah,
Okay, so
that's
there's my
kind of what we're doing,
split.
but we're streaming too. So yeah,
That's my split. I want to split it here.
and we have an issue here
And
in the
here.
middle.
See, unwrap. Okay, getting closer.
There's
Okay,
something weird with
so
the.
rotate 90.
So I'm
Nope,
going to
rotate.
just.
Anna is in World Builder, yeah.
Yeah, in
Um,
World Machine. Yep.
mhm. And I'm working in Blender, Blender 3D.
Yep. So it is World
Um,
Machine that I'm working on here, and I'm not sure this is super realistic yet, but first I'm going to test it, and I think we actually have
yeah, I got spinning blades on the screen, that's for sure.
yeah.
Lots of them.
Now I'm going to skip that
Uh,
adjust thingy and
what I'm trying to do is make cuts
bypass
on the
that
model.
one.
Sorry to interrupt you, Anna, but
Oh
I'm
no,
trying to
please.
make cuts on the model to lay this flat, like you'd take scissors and just cut a paper doll out of it.
hmm
And that's I'm trying to figure out so I can lay it out nice and neat on the paper without causing issues for myself
Yeah,
in the view. And it's
that
not
looks
working.
that looks like a really interesting problem, so to speak, in
Oh, it
solving
can
that.
be, and it can also be a big nightmare.
Yeah,
So, and like when I was doing House Lagora, trying to do the unwrapping on that was just boggling my mind. I was like, oh my God.
yeah.
I'm still not done with it. I kind of walked away from it for a little while to get a fresh perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, that does not work. Why is that not working?
Okay, so here we have
Okay, well, that's going to be good
now
enough.
I need to test out to see if I can
90.
put erosion in on this. And now this is something I've done with my rivers and stuff back in the day. So this should be the same setup. So I need to have erosion. I put erosion in here, and then I give it some really tough and no uplift and kind of soft rock. So I'm eroding it down significantly, and then I'm just taking a look here, and now it should look
Okay.
really good
Nope,
here.
nope, nope. Just this one. L, G. So now I want to rotate that one till it sits
And all of
flat.
a sudden it takes a long time to render because erosion is what takes a lot of
Rotate
calculations to do.
until it sits flat, and do the same with all of them. Oops, nope. L, no, wrong button. Hello, there we go. See, so it sits flat. Okay, now comes the fun part, getting it
Then I'll actually
up.
try and build a special extent just in the middle that, and then I can actually blend that over in the final model when I render texture and stuff and get a final elevation that actually works. But this is tricky. I don't want to do this more often than necessary, but sometimes it's good to be able to have this worked out so I can have these templates and go in and change it if need be.
Okay, so it's this orientation. So I gotta do that. Got that
This is
junk.
really tricky. Mm-hmm. It seems like we're doing difficult stuff today. Normally I do previous mapping streams. I've just been sitting working in Photoshop and doodling, and now I'm actually trying to think. This is really part of trying to solve an issue. Another oh,
Mine's
sorry.
been testing my brain tonight too. It's just
Hmm.
like,
Yeah, and some experts in world machine, but say like, oh, that's you're doing it wrong, and there's a simple way of doing it. I'm trying to figure this out. So I'm not the world master in this, but I'm slowly getting professional at least. It's taken me years, but
sometimes the people that can do it like in their sleep drives me crazy. It's just like,
hmm.
go away. I'm teaching myself. I'm doing perfectly fine.
Yeah. So I'm getting here. So but and I think this is among the most tricky things I've done in World Machine. Coming up with how rivers actually work and then fixing things like this and make it look good. It's really tough. It
That's how I wanted
requires
to
so many
unwrap.
steps to do it.
Okay.
But if I can fix this and make it look good, then I think I can solve almost all the problems that I can have in photo in World Machine, because this is one of the trickiest. Is that tile thing, that rivers and valleys and stuff don't work out when you're tiling it. So it's fixing tiling issues. Gaia is probably another tool that I'm going to use and try and figure this out too. But I'm not as good in Gaia as I'm in World Machine yet. So if I can do it in World Machine so far, that's where I will try.
Drop that down a bit. Yeah, we're both working on projects tonight that are making us think, and
Mm-hmm.
my brain is like,
Yeah, and this is for the
maybe.
Altamira map. That's one of the reasons I want this fixed, because it is fairly near the city of Altamira. So I need to have I want to have this fixed, and I want to have it fixed properly and not just smooth over or something. I want it to work in 3D, and I want it to have a real fix, not just like a paint over the ugly parts that it's normally that case in most commercial projects when you work on commissions, is because time is of such an essence. But this is something I want this to be really, really well done. I don't want to paint it over the ugly bits. I want to fix it. And it's also
Okay.
a thing for future things.
And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so
Yeah.
I can work with it easier. No, not that.
Now, now,
This.
now it's your turn to be on top here, because I'm just looking at a boring
Oh,
progress bar here. So, and all of a sudden I
lovely.
introduce an erosion device, and it goes from 5 seconds to 5 minutes in render time. So I should realize I should lower my resolution, because now I'm actually rendering in absolute full resolution, which I don't really need to. I
Color.
didn't realize it would take so long. So
There
I
we
need
go.
to
Now I can make it a little bigger.
change
Yeah,
the
and I'm just
ambitions here a bit.
working on just figuring out this way to cut these apart and make them
Hmm.
nice and flat and organized.
Yeah.
So when I take them into Photoshop, I can actually uh, color them in
Yeah.
like continuous designs.
Hmm.
And it's not always easy when you try to figure
Yeah.
that
And
out.
now I realize I can actually render this. If I render this out in this resolution, it will be the full resolution, and I don't have to worry about tiling or any of that effect. So that is, I didn't, yeah, it's actually better than I thought, so I don't need to worry about it. So, yeah, if I can just save out
Oops.
the final height on this, it will
L
work.
and L. There we go. Just gonna put these together so I don't waste quite so much space.
And now this river, or this
Whoa,
valley here, it's
really?
actually better. Oh, this
Okay.
looks kind of cool when I have this set of hills. And now these all the hills are very. I'm just looking at the what the I'm looking at the profile of the valley here, and I still have that kind of damn hump in the middle here. So yeah, I think there is a
Still
hump.
have that damn hump in the center.
Yeah, I think it's a hump.
Okay, fine. You want to redo my layout?
Yeah, I think it's.
Grr.
Oh yeah,
Stop
it
it.
is a hump here. What? There's something with this hump. I need to be more drastic here. So yep. So now I'm
Okay,
just gonna
now I gotta redo all that again. Doggone it.
first, before I press render again, I'm going to go down here and just lower the resolution just to.
All right,
And
now
now I'm just gonna
scaling
take
it
in
down
the
just a
middle
little bit.
here.
And
Just for the
Move
heck of it, I'm going to do
chunks
a wider
again.
one here. I'm going to bring that one down to 4,000 just for the heck of it. This is a test, and do this. So, yeah, kind of, but I think I put it too far north. I need to put it down here.
Hit the right keys. Jeepers, creepers.
Yeah,
Having issues with keys today. I couldn't talk today during one of my videos, and now I can't hit the
oh,
right keys.
yeah,
Wow. Having one of those nights. Let's see. I want to go
that is better, but it's still a hump. So
here and there. And
I'm
this one.
going to
That's
take that
that
one
one.
and
That's that
subdivide it,
one.
and I'm
This
going to
one's
bring it
this
down
one.
here.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that one and
And this
G
is
and
just
two
a test of
space.
principle because I'm going to
Rotate
bring it.
that one and
Yeah, probably need to
then
bring it down a few notches here. I'm going to bring it to.
it says, Anna, don't forget I'm gonna bug you about the Sea of Dust Dark Sun.
Oh
No need to
yes.
respond. Don't want to interrupt the art.
Oh, it's okay. No, no, that's a good point. Thank you, John, for reminding me. It's good. Yep. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really interested in Dark Sun. It's cool, and we have some. There's some cool project on that. So yep. Sea of Dark Dust. Yes. Hi, Gary. Yeah.
Oh, and for I don't know if I mentioned this, but for those of you that saw me working on Nargenstall, Wolfgang finally saw it. He
Oh,
fell in
cool.
love with it.
Yeah, that
So
is great.
I've got my toes in the door. I just got to keep going with it.
Yeah,
So,
and
and no, that's not plugging my own thing. It's just, just kind of updating you guys that he actually did see it and he was like, and those ducks, and the ship, and it's like, yep,
yeah,
I put him in there for a reason so it catches your eye.
yeah.
So, yeah, I'm hoping I can expand it into 3D work for Wolfgang. So we'll see.
Now I'm going to save this as this name, and then I'm going to
Awesome.
save it under new name and see if I can
Mhm.
check, double check the.
Yeah,
Going
we'll
to.
do that.
Uh,
Nope, nope, nope. I want
oh,
this
oh,
one. L.
that
This
was not good.
Uh-oh,
Whatever I
what'd you
did,
do?
I
I have no idea.
I know what I did, but I'm not really sure how it was before.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so thank God I just saved. So now I'm going to op open. Yeah, I'm going to open the 5 and see either. There we go. That's the way it was. Okay, so now I'm going to.
There, much cleaner layout. Okay, so now
So I'm going to take
image,
that into
save
here
as. Okay,
and
that's
colorizer. I'm going to.
nice. UV Monopoly House 2 and RGB. No, we'll go black and white and save. Haha. Two houses down. I've
Yeah.
only got 31 to go. File export as FBX, and we'll throw it in my master files. And we're going to go, that's house 2. Yes, house 2. Selected objects,
Oh.
mesh,
Uh,
Y forward, and let's see, mesh selected.
Now I want to reintroduce my height checking device that is inserts pink into it here. There we go.
New, general.
And if I
Yes.
bypass remove, and if I do this, and that one, okay, that one don't.
To save.
do shit here.
I
Okay.
didn't know we had a icon that was a mimic. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
File
Hyper
new,
mimics. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
general, file,
Okay.
import.
Here we go. We have slope selected. So
Don't need a Trapper Keeper. Trapper Keeper made a dragon skin. That would be amazing. I would love that. Uh, let's see. Well, tonight you guys are lucky because I was supposed to be running a D&D game at the local store, and unfortunately we're on the edge of a big blizzard up here, so they closed the store early. So you guys get to see me tonight. Otherwise, I'd be busy running a D&D campaign. Because they decided they're going to start running every week for uh, they want me to run Kobold Press stuff every week. So it's like, okay, I can
yeah,
do that.
that's cool. Yep. Okay. Now I got my hump test here. So now I can put
Okay,
in.
so let's see. File, save as,
So we can see we have
House
these
3,
bits here, and then it's a little bit
save
up here in the middle. So I think it's the erosion that causes this problem. So I'm going to, yep.
blue box. He says he came for porta potty resolution, but he stayed for billions of pixels.
Well, this is porta potty resolution, but only a small area, so to speak. So yep, but it's good. Thank you. Yep, porta potty trademarked. Yep. Mm-hmm. So I bypass. Okay,
Let's
so
see
it is the
here.
because now I took away the erosion, and then I get it perfect here. So it's the erosion that causes it. So now we need to um, now I need to tweak the. I
Oops.
think I need to. Ah, there we go. It's a sediment care. I need to simply have less sediment in the erosion. That's what causes the hump. So you see here, I can. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
yeah, you get
I
Los
would. I
Alamos
would. I would
National
love
Lab.
to have a crew there working for
Los
me so I can render this. So yeah. So
24,
now I'm actually creating. Here we
64.
go. I think we're starting to get somewhere here.
Okay, no alpha, and okay. There we go. Is that set up?
So here we have actually something that almost works. So here we get the so now I can actually I'm going to disable this shape because it should be actually be enough to have this, but there is a part there in the middle that is not good enough, so I'm going to uh-huh. So now I'm going to delete that bit here, and I'm going to take this bit here. I'm going to increase
All
the fallout
right, let's
distance here a little bit.
pull the roof off of this.
Yeah,
And this one's going to be a tricky unwrap too,
yeah.
as it's
So here is the hump test, and
a
now when
lot
I
of
have the signal
things
color
here.
that signals that I can see what so I need this to go the whole way through here. So there should be no hump in the middle here. So now I need to figure out how to do this. So one way is to just introduce a little bit of a flat area here and just bring that down to 3000 something. There we go. Something like that, and then just bring it out a little bit and then go in. That is almost correct, so to speak. That almost covers it. So I just need
That
to,
looks like a perfect unwrap to me.
yeah.
Not. Holy cow, that's bad. Let's see. Sorry, I'm being silly here,
It's
but it's
okay,
just
yeah.
like, holy
So here
cow.
we have something that technically works.
So this junk,
So once we get it
let's
technically to work, it needs to look
rotate
decent too.
80, and then
Um,
G, get over
way more
there.
important than Chinese balloons, of course it is. Yep. And now I have, there we have some
Nope,
some
nope, nope.
issues with the So I need to take
Rotate,
this and bring down the,
G,
there we go,
rotate.
break up a little bit.
Okay,
Here
there
we
we go.
actually have but this will just create a lake. But I can turn lakes into all sorts of other stuff. So like marshlands and whatnot. So that might actually work. So this is not terrible. We just have that little bit here. So I need to.
I get so busy working on things I forget to drink and everything. It's like,
Yeah.
doggone it.
Mm-hmm.
Until my throat says, you need something to drink.
Yeah.
Hello.
And this is the problem with when you start working with fractals and various stuff in a more natural way, is that they tend to fill up valleys with stuff just like they do in real life, so to speak.
Yeah, they say they're waiting for your high D 3D high res Rift
Yeah,
Canyon.
and this is technology or knowledge and skills that I will need in order to tackle it. So this is part of fixing things like that. So I've actually tested in the secret. I haven't shown that to anybody, but I have some ideas, and I'm starting to figure out how it's done, so to speak, how I can do it. So now I need to keep doing the hump test again, and I need to. I'm sorry for calling it the hump test, but it's basically what it is. I need to see if the geometry actually works here. So now I need to lower that one to 4,200 meters and see.
Hmm.
It kind of works. I increase it 100 meters per time, so for 3 it kind of works. So yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect, because what will happen is that I will import this into. I'm going to test it with data that doesn't have that is, because these are actually the one that has lakes in it from the previous. So I'm going to test it on the raw data. So let's save this and then open up and put in the right data.
Ew, that's ugly.
I
Okay,
have no clue what time
so
is it. Oh, it's 6 o'clock almost. We've been doing it for
yep.
1:17. So wow, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is ugly. I'm trying to figure out how to unwrap this and it's
Mm-hmm.
not working like I want it to.
Yep. Yeah, I did some tests with Rift Canyon, and one of the things I need to do uh, with Rift Canyon is that I need to be able to stack height maps on top of each other, because first I need to do the surrounding terrain with just a black opening, so to speak, and instead of having the depth, because I only have 50 kilometers in elevation, and I need a lot of that elevation on upwards, so to speak. And then what I will do is that I will render the terrain normally, and it will be like a flat surface at the bottom of like minus 500 meters. And then I will import that into a special file where I take only the top a few hundred meters, or like a few thousand feet at the top, and then use all the elevation, vertical elevation, downwards instead, and stack them on top of each other. I've already worked out how to do that, so that bit I know how technically to do it. But what I didn't know what to do was to do really large areas and tile them together. And now I have that knowledge too. So now I need to marry those two techniques together and workflow into one cohesive workflow. Then I can start tackle the Rift Canyon. So it's definitely on my agenda to do Rift Canyon in porta potty scale. I think that can be awesome fun.
Only nerds like us would think something like that would be fun to do.
Mm-hmm. But I think this now I need to now I not new now I need to import the new data, height data. So I need to go into uh, Altamira and
Guilty as charged. Yep. Uh, definitely agree on that one. I was prepping for my game this afternoon, and I spent almost 2.5 hours reading about the Southlands in Midgard. I was like, oh my God, I had no idea this was all there. I know you guys are Greyhawkers, but if you ever want something to look at Midgard. It's pretty fascinating.
yeah,
And no, I'm not besmirching Greyhawk name. I love Greyhawk till the day I die, but it's just something fun to look at occasionally.
yep. Okay, here we go. Now I found the right data. No LRR. Okay, X3Y2, X3Y2. There we go.
Whoa, wrong way. That one there.
And I need to make sure that one is,
This
there we
one
go.
here should be a little bigger.
Place into current view.
Rotate it there, and this little guy should be bigger.
Load. And that is X3Y1. X3Y, X2, X3Y1.
Oops.
Place into current view. Okay, now I need to go in and render it. And this should have the raw data, the data I have from the original goes in here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think this works. But hang on a second here.
Where's that? That's the top of the roof.
Now I should actually
This
use the
should be
river,
whole section.
or
Yeah.
should I not? Now I need to think here.
This one.
There's two ways around it, because the next step is to put it into my texture and river water generate file where I render stuff like that. And then I can insert this terrain. Either I can generate the rivers and the lakes in here and match it with the one afterwards, or I use the same setting and put it in prior to. So I'm going to export this as is, and then I'm going to import it into the other file and generate the lakes and the rivers in there and see if it works or not, so to speak. But that is something that takes a long time to set up. So I'm going to just
This one.
save this file as needed,
Rotate.
because that is so
Flatten it
technical and it requires a heck of a lot of rendering. So I think I'm going to just sit down and do some Photoshop for the last half hour, or a little bit more than half hour, 40 minutes. So I'm going to save this, and I hope it's not been terrible to look at. And
Yeah, I've been just totally absorbed in trying to figure out how to spread these so it
mhm,
fits nicely on my page,
yeah,
and it's not going that good
but
tonight.
I've
It's
taken
just
away the hub here, so I'm actually doing good here.
this
So
one is this one.
I'm
Okay,
going
so
to skip that,
this
and now
needs
I'm
to
going
be
to open up
in
Photoshop.
and rotate this way. Then I'll
And there's some
shrink
heraldry
my
concept and some other stuff in there too, but that is something for another blog post coming up soon.
this one here is that
Oh, you have Greg Hawk, yeah, Meyer Hawk. So yep, we can
I
have
thought you
all
said
our
Greg Hawk. I'm like, Greg Hawk?
yeah, Greg
Okay.
Hawk. Yep,
It's like, okay.
yep. Here we go. Okay,
Okay.
now time to go in here and
Okay.
yeah, I'm Greg. Yep.
Work scene. Um,
That is cool.
Arg, I gotta do this again because I freaking added a dot. Grr. All right, so this one is the bottom half of the building. Okay.
And here we have
I
rivers.
don't want to sink it. I just want this. Uh,
And now I need to save this under a new file
no,
name here so I
to
don't
sink it
screw this
so
up.
I can see this. That
8.
is. Grr. Where'd my picture
There
go?
we go. Now I have to take a peek at your houses here and see what you're doing here.
Oh, I'm
Cemetery.
struggling. I'm struggling right now.
hmm
Trying to figure out what piece I'm looking at. Okay, that's that piece there.
That's so cool, John.
That one is
Call it
that one.
cemetery.
It's not a cemetery.
That's what you accused me of creating.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I was a
hmm
little slow there. Rotate. Um, these are little houses that eventually Anna's going to be putting on her maps. Maybe, if I can convince her
Uh-huh.
to do it, to detail some of the little cities and towns and stuff. So I'm making them as simple as I can. And I'm committing you to stuff, Anna, that you probably are like,
Yep.
shh.
Hello, Mike. Yep. One Malku. Yep.
Nice. Hello, hello. Oops.
I've been working in deep into technical stuff in World Machine for the first hour and a half here, but now I'm actually into in Photoshop for some relaxing editing. And now I realize I need to import textures and crap into here to have it actually work properly. So I need to fix things here. So
Okay, so that
uh-oh,
needs to stay together. Then this is
there
first
we
running
go.
economy since 1990s. Ooh, sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I wish I could be there. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, unfortunately,
Yeah,
Pocketbook says I don't think so.
yeah, mine almost said that too, but yeah, but thankfully managed to
Yep.
get it possible for me, and it thanks to the the convention itself, or Gary Con and so many friends and stuff helping me out. Otherwise, it would be an impossibility to. Let's see here. Now I need to get some textures.
Okay, that is that.
I'm also working on a farm
Is that
texture that is really cool, but I'm going
okay?
to skip that
This
for
one
now.
is there. That's that one. That's that one. Okay. So this one is here. That one is there. So I want to rotate this one this way.
And that is now I need to. Oh, need to have the right 64 shield lens 1.
And
There
rotate.
we go.
It's gonna go like that.
X5Y2. X5Y2. That's the one.
Rotate. Flat. Yeah, it'd be really nice. I'm 8.5 hours away, so yeah, it takes a good day to drive there.
Mm-hmm.
And in March, it's kind of sketchy for me to drive that far. So sometimes it's really good, and the next day I'm just like, uh-uh. Like last time Anna and I were together at GaryCon, we ran into a snowstorm coming back through Wisconsin, and that
Yeah,
was
that was
not
kind of
not
funny.
fun.
It was a lot of a
Yep.
big snowstorm thingy.
Anna says, "Drop me off at Minneapolis. I'll fly out of there." I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Okay."
How was it? Really, was it worse the rest for you?
No, actually, it got better once I got past Minneapolis.
Yeah, because I remember that at least the forecasts looked like it was going to be an improvement. The worst we had was going
hmm
up to Minneapolis from.
Yeah, going from Madison to Win or Gary, not GaryCon, Lake Geneva to
Yeah.
Madison was
Mm-hmm.
bad, and then
Yeah, and then
the
up
next morning we
against
went
mm-hmm.
to
Minneapolis.
Madison to Minneapolis,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was not good because the roads were solid ice.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there on, I had ice, patchy ice, but it wasn't so bad. And then once I got past St. Cloud, Minnesota, it was not bad at all. But that's typical winter driving up here, so I'm not too terribly worried about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping late March weather is good too. If by any chance I can squeak it out, or I just say to hell with it and put it on my credit card, maybe I'll be there, but I just don't know at this point. And it's looking like no. Um, oh, what is that? That's the big roof. This is the big shed. Big roof. Okay, so I need to get these little guys out of the way. Yeah, I miss playing games with you too, Justinius. It was the Wolves of St. Cuthbert kind of
Oh yeah,
fizzled
that
after the
was so
first
much
day.
fun. Yep.
It was like, ugh. Yeah, we had a good time.
Yep, definitely.
And scale. Scale Y. Bring you down just a little bit. There we go. And
I
move
should
these
probably
two
skip that bit,
guys.
and I'm going to
And
I'm going to
there.
cheat these lakey bits in here.
You can't cheat Lakey Bits.
I'm
No
going
cheating.
I'm going to cheat lakey bits in here, so I'm going to delete that layer because that was not what I needed.
There we
There we
go.
go,
That looks
and
much better.
I'm going to tweak that one. And now I'm going to
Um,
put the other one in
oh
here.
man. Two Carlos games. Yep.
Hmm.
I'm always the bad penny that hangs around his table hoping for a spot to sit in. So I usually get a chance to sit in somewhere. But
Uh-huh.
and then Carlos is constantly looking at me like, "Will you go sit down somewhere?" It's like, okay, I'll go sit down. As long as I get to sit at your table, I'm good. So then he fits me in one of the tables. It's really nice of him to do.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's
Going to
see. Okay, so
rasterize. I'm going
file,
to put it in
save. I
place, and then
like
I'm
my
going. Yeah.
layout, and then
Going to do that one.
image,
Put it there.
save as Monopoly House. Is that three? Yeah, I'm
0.
working on house three. Black
And
and
I'm going to
white.
do brightness
And
contrast. And this is a little tip if you want to change the textures like this and you want to tweak both the colors and saturation and brightness contrast. You put two adjustment layers. One is the hue saturation that also have a lightness but don't touch it, and then chain a brightness contrast on top, because then you can use one for the color saturation and hue and saturation, the other one for brightness and contrast, and you can basically do a full adjustment. So now I'm going to tweak so these two will actually match at least reasonably. So I need to first bring down the brightness to roughly the same level, something like that, and a little bit more contrast like that.
oops, don't want to do
And
that.
now I need to tweak the colors a bit here. So I start with, first I get the tone right, so a little bit more,
Hmm.
something like that, and then increase the saturation to roughly around there, and then we tweak the. Now I'm actually looking at this bit here because it's untouched, and these two. So if I get these two to work, and that one too.
Alrighty, this one should be an easy one to unwrap, I think. All I really have to do
There
is
we go.
split it right up the gullet.
Now I can't see the thing there. Can't see the edge, so now I can actually go in here and yeah, it's not too bad. So now I'll see if I can take these and merge these layers. Then I basically built in the correction. So now I can, if I'm smart, I can actually do it again, because what I want is these two So I can go in and take use saturation again and keep tweaking it. And
Yeah,
now
that
I
should
need to.
work. Edge, mark seam. Of course, now my throat's going to go crazy. Haha, that worked just exactly how I wanted it. Now, rotate
There is
90
almost identical there.
G, and let's see. I'm going to keep
There is
that
perfect.
way.
Damn, I'm starting to get good at this.
Scale.
I'm. Before that could have taken forever to get that tweaked, but so now I can actually paint this in. There we go. Now I can paint it in and get it right. I don't need to be that perfect here, but there we go. And then I'll paint over the ugly bits here, but at least I got to start with here. Here we go. Paint over these flat area. There will be a lot of forest and stuff on top, trees and things on top here. I just need to get over these is a flat river valley, so it is like if the river flows over its banks completely, it will flood into this. And I'm sorry, now I haven't checked the chat every minute here. When I get into one of these problems I need to solve, then it takes a bit here, so
Come on, give
so
me
how you
what I
doing
want.
with your folding and unfolding things here?
It's going good so far.
Okay, good.
Um,
Yeah.
I am just straightening out this model a little bit here so
Mm-hmm.
I can put the, put the
There we go.
roof colorations on in Photoshop and
Yeah.
do the coloring. And it'll also help me do the um, coloring inside Unreal too. It makes it a lot easier to work on it.
Yeah. And
So we're
here,
going to do
here
that.
I have.
Scale X.
I need to
Make
insert
them
some bogs
flatter.
and stuff there too.
And there. That should do it. Whoops. Yeah, that works. So file, save.
So that is now worked.
Monopoly House 4. Save. And image, save as Monopoly House
I
4.
can actually bring these,
Black and white and
merge
image.
these
And
together.
then export
There we go.
FPS. Monopoly House 4. Selected objects. Mesh.
And I can
Y
take that one
forward.
and merge it down, I think, too. Now
Export.
double check this.
That was a lot of saving. Wow.
Yep, and that still looks good. So
Okay,
now I
that
can
one's done.
save it in, and I've actually I fixed the first bit of this problem, so that's good. And I realized I should have checked that one before I did that, but I can import it back in. It's not that difficult. Now I know what to look for. I realized there was a whole bunch of more stuff I should have done, but I'm going to concentrate on this river valley because the problem with this one is that it's just on the border between two tiles, so that's what makes it more difficult. And now it is windy like crazy out again. Yeah. Yeah.
I got about 40-mile-an-hour winds here tonight.
That's roughly what I think we have too.
Probably close.
Yeah, the trees are there branches everywhere, and there were things blowing around and whatnot. So
Whipping all over.
yep, and we
If
rarely
it's
get strong winds here, so it's kind of very unusual, and the trees aren't
if
really
it
used to it.
starts snowing here, we're in trouble.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's supposed to be up to 15 inches of snow tonight.
But if it
So we'll
starts
see.
snowing here, we are in much deeper trouble than you are because we're
Oh
not
yeah,
used
because
to
you guys
deal with
don't
it.
have a
No,
clue how to deal
every
with it.
car on the street will just be piled up by the gate because there's not the slope is so steep that nothing will sit
They'll be
around.
like, nope.
Yep. So that will be a disaster here. But
Even people with SUVs won't know how to handle it.
no, no,
So
no. Here is like no, no. The people here can't drive
they'll be like,
in snow or
nope.
wherever. Yep. There will be biggest pile up ever on the freeway with if that happens. Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Now I need.
we end up with a lot of people having pileups here too because they
Hmm.
just don't know how to slow down.
I remember that when we drove from Lake Geneva to Minneapolis. I remember.
Rain in Chicago,
Yeah,
oof, not
I
good.
never seen that many cars in Sweden ever in my life before piling up everywhere, so to speak. I'd never seen
Well,
people drive that bad in snow ever.
put it this way, Americans do not know how to drive in snow.
Well, the thing
Period.
they drove the normal way. They had like 50, 60 miles an hour and thinking it would work.
Exactly.
It was like, come
That's
on, you
exactly
need
what I meant. They don't know
yeah,
how to
you need
slow
to
down.
drive 10, 15, 20 miles an hour tops and
Hmm.
keep 100 yards between cars. They were just driving like maniacs on the freeway and then pile up
Yep.
everywhere. It was like, come on, you're driving a 30, 40, $50,000 car. Aren't you worried about that if not worry about your own health or others? At least you might be worried about
Oh,
your value of your stuff you're driving in. But nope.
well, you would think, but yeah,
Yeah.
they don't really think about that.
Yeah, that
It's like,
surprised me.
I need to get here as quickly as I can, and I have an SUV. I can go anywhere I want
Yeah.
without trouble.
Yeah.
They're the first ones usually in the ditch.
Mhm. Yeah, to me that was amazing. I've seen a lot of people
Especially,
go after, but not that many in in a few miles, like
yeah,
a
we
couple
were
of
like,
hundred
what,
miles.
maybe 150 miles, and yeah, there was like 30 cars in the
At
ditch.
least, yeah,
Yeah,
at
at
least there
least.
were
Yep.
lots of them. There were like many tens, so there was like 30, 40 something cars around and trucks and whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah, they were being real dopes that day,
Hmm.
so it was not a good sight.
Uh-oh.
See.
Southwest cancel 4,000 flights. I hope they haven't done that
Yeah,
again. Yeah.
yeah, they have.
Oh,
Minneapolis was canceling flights like crazy.
uh-huh. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think they said like 1,200 flights or something was canceled over
Yeah.
the next week or so
Yeah.
because of possible rain and
Mm-hmm.
snow. It's like,
No,
ew.
now I need to get the I need to add bogs in here again. So do this and find my
All right, have a
bog
good
file.
night, Wiley Hobbit.
Yeah. Good night. Thank you for coming. Yeah, hanging out with us. Bogs X5 Y2
Wait, 625.
X5.
If I get a chance to work on it this next week, or actually the next couple days, I'll have some really cool stuff to show you guys on Friday night.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wait, we're not having Friday night
No,
stream, are
we
we?
have a mapping show on this Friday.
Okay,
So yeah, and
then
I need
next
to
week.
prep for that one.
Yep.
That's my
Okay.
tomorrow mission is to prep for that one,
Okay,
looking
then
into
next
symbols
week.
and stuff.
Next week I'll have some
Mhm.
cool stuff for you.
Yep.
There's been a lot of progress done on the geometry nodes within Blender, and there's ways I can do a modifier that will chip away at the tiles and stuff to make them look like stone.
Oh,
And there's ways I can also make dungeon floors by just dragging an edge, and it brings another
that
tile out
is
randomly.
really cool.
I just got to get it all set up because it's all like procedural nodes and spaghetti.
Yep.
So, but I'm
Awesome.
excited about it. I want to get that set up so I can start using it for when I do like 3D dungeons and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my stuff next week.
Mhm.
I just got to get time to sit down and do it. That's the big thing.
Yep. Yep. See you, Mike. Thank you so much for stopping by here. So here comes a tricky thing. Now I need to merge these two layers, but one of the layers here has a mask. So what I need to do is I need to copy this layer that has a mask, and then I'm going to turn off the original, and then I'm going to delete the layer mask. So now I have these two. Now I can actually take these two layers and merge them like this. And now I can select the mask from that one, and then I can create it, and boom, I have a mask covering both of the layers, and I can delete that layer. That was before I figured out that that was the way to do it. It was really tricky for me, and I didn't figure out how to do it. But now I've actually figured out how to do that in, and it's one of these maneuvers I do quite often. So it's one of the stuff, one of the things that I can do very often. So now I have a bogs layer, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to look at the flat mask. I think I had a flat mask laying around here somewhere, but I don't have a full flat mask. I only have part of it. So let's import the rest of the flat mask too. There we go. So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to wait until I'm saved first before I do any of that stuff. Night, Fomoku.
Yep. Good night. Have a good night.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, so that is the unfolding scheme, so to speak, or whatever you might call it,
Mm-hmm.
when you have a.
Yep.
It looks a bit like these maps for texturing. The what you call it, the
The UV map
yeah,
is
the
what I'm
UV
doing.
map. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's
Okay.
exactly what I'm working on.
Ah.
I
Yeah,
just want
because
to make them so when I take them into Photoshop, I can actually identify what it is.
because I've re-edited some of these maps in order to change the colors of things, but I've never created one from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be tricky
Yeah.
doing this. Not horribly hard, but just tricky sometimes
Mm-hmm.
because you got to turn things the right way, and if you turn it the wrong way, or
Yeah.
to get them all separated in tiny little squares, and then you're like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble now.
Yeah. Flat, and we have flat x5 y2 x5 y2. There we go. Boom. That's the
Okay,
flat mask.
and then I want these guys
And
this way. So that is
rasterize layer and turn that on. Take these two and you can't merge because you have one of these, and you can't merge it anyway for some stupid reason. Okay, I'll fix that afterwards. Now it's time to do that one and import in, place embedded, and it's x6y2 flat xy2. That is the one. There we go.
that didn't work. Try again.
And rasterize
Let's
layer. And
go
now comes, oh, I hate it when you can't
this
merge. You
one.
have to merge. But now
Zero
what I can
G.
do, I've learned another trick. You take it this
Good night, Blue
way.
Box. Have a good night.
Yeah,
Thanks for
good
stopping by.
night. Yeah, thank you so much for the raid. So I copy merged here, and then I paste that in on top. Call it flat. Lock it in position. Now I can actually delete the old flat mask here. There we go. And that's the way to do it.
Okay, and I am
There we
doing.
go.
No, stop moving everything together in one.
And then I
Grr.
can turn that into lighten. Or I can
Did you move
do
here?
darken here.
Stop it.
And what I want to do now is to look over the coastline here, because I can actually,
So,
everything that is visible here
wrong
is
one.
water. So now I can actually
That one.
test.
Get this back down here where you belong.
That is normal.
Okay, so this is
Oh, sea mask, that's the one.
the
Ah, so it actually, they work together, so that's good.
this one is clear over there. Okay. So that's that, that's that.
Okay,
All
so
right,
I
so
can
I need to
put
go
that into normal, but at least I have it for now, so it's good.
use
So I've done that,
G
and that works. Now I can take this in and save it again. This is a lot of
scale
technical
Y0
stuff,
G
and something tells me I should be in another meeting, but I skipped that for now because I'm
scale
doing more
Y
important stuff here. I'm working, yeah.
up scale Y flatten out
Oh, don't worry, Tim. This took me 10 years to figure
0.
out, so you can do it in less than that, I'm sure.
Okay, that's not gonna work because that's just gonna confuse me. Let's go with this. Seam. Sadly, I get to do that all over again.
Hmm. And now I'm going to see if I can
Seam.
paint over some of the lake bits here again that I did before. So I'm basically going to repeat that whole. Let's do the bogs first. I'm going to do something
All right.
because I had the bogs. There we go. And then
Grr.
take the flat
G.
mask, and now I'm going to delete that channel, and I'm going to.
Tim, you're not the only one who feels dumb when you watch Anna work. I'm like, uh, yeah. Rotate. Grr. Get over there.
So here I have a flat. So
Swell. Connect.
I'm going to
Rotate
see
flat.
if I select color range here. Let's see.
And all of these little buggers, what the heck are
It
those?
actually works. Okay, so now I'm going to
Adhesive.
save this
This one is, oh,
selection.
it's the dormer roof. Okay.
Flat channel again. New channel. Perfect. Now I can
All right.
turn that off. And I had some white. Oh, there we go. Okay. So now I can paint in bogs in this area here. So I'm going to take the bogs down there, take a little pencil and have white, and I'm not going to take, I'm going to take 70% and then just, oh, wrong way. And now I realize that I need to remove that channel, delete channel, and now I need to inverse my selection and then save the selection and call it flat. There we go. Now it should actually work. There we go. Perfect. That's what I wanted. Can paint in these bits here. There we go. So I think I have some rivers to paint in there too, but I'm going to
get rid of this seam. Give me the seam that I want. Thank you.
so
Clear seam. A UV unwrap. Okay, that looks better. Now I need to get rid of that one on this side too.
going to take away the marching ants here so I can fill in the little
Clear
gaps.
seam. A UV unwrap. There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. To use masks like this when you edit is so good because you can work 10 times faster than you could otherwise. I can
Okay,
just
get rid of
paint in
that so
bog
I can
texture
just do
here real quick.
this. G,
Just
rotate
add that in
to get you flat.
very quickly here. Then I'm thinking about if any of these should actually be lakes. This big one here, I need to... I've had that one before. I've already solved that one. I need to import the texture in here. Okay, there we have the first attempt, which is actually not that bad. That kind of works, but this bit here doesn't work. The rivers go different in the latest rendering, so I can't use that bit. But I think I had it in... Yeah, I need to look at that because I know I've done that version before. This is one of the problems when um, when I've worked on a test area first and then import it back in. I need to make sure I don't redo everything, but sometimes I have to redo it because when you render the same area again, you get slight differences. So what I should do is look at tributaries. Oh, there we have the uh, tributaries. We need to import tributaries into here too. So there we go. I need to make sure I put it up there. There we go. So now I need to import the tributaries in there too and do the same thing and put them together as well. Oh, there's a lot of importing in and making files bigger and bigger and bigger. So x5y2, place embedded, tributaries. Oh, we're almost up to 2 hours here, so it's good. It's getting there.
For me, the 2 hours goes incredibly fast.
Yes, same here. But I've been doing some progress today, so I think I've got a working plan for taking care of that hump, and that
Hmm.
might actually work, and at least I have a good shot at it. And now I'm making progress on the editing here too. So x5y2, x5, x5, y2. There we go. And that one seemed to... Yep, it matches. So I'm just gonna lock that in place and rasterize it. Take that one, select that area, and that is x6y2. Tributaries. Tributaries x6y2 is that one.
You're not dumb, Tim. It's just that she's been working on this stuff a long time.
I've been working on figure this out. It took me 10 years to get here from when I started World Machine and started working on
Hmm.
this, and
And
it's... Yep.
that's 10 years, 8 hours a day, probably.
No, not that much, but at least it's
Okay,
like 10 hours a week,
5.
5 to 10 hours a week on average, I think, for 10
I bet
years.
you a lot more than that if you think about it. Because every time I talk to you, you're, "Oh, I'm working on Photoshop. I'm working on More
Yeah, well,
Machine."
yeah. So I'm
So,
working on it. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
yep, I think it's a lot more than you realize.
Okay. Yeah. At
Because
least
I'm the same way. I'm like, uh-oh,
I'm
I've
starting
been
to
working on
to
this a
get the...
lot.
And now I need to do another thing here on... I need to take the C mask. So I'm going to take a duplicate of that one, um, and put that on top, and then I'm going to invert it. adjustment, invert, and change it from
There,
normal
now I have those
to
dormers. Nice. I like that. Okay, so
darker color,
file,
and that one
save,
normal. And here I have the
go,
final tributary mask where I actually removed all
save
the little mask, the tributaries on the area of.
image, save as,
So I'm going to take these two and merge them
black and white,
together.
save,
Merge layers. There we go.
and
I'm going to call
file,
it
export, FBX,
tributaries. There we
mouse
go.
5. I'm gonna
And
do
lock it in and
select an object
lighten,
mesh,
and boom. Yes, I have the
line
tributary
forward
mask.
F. There we go. Well, I'm doing pretty good. I got 5 hoses unwrapped and saved
Oh,
as
good. Yep.
5 out of 32.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take me a while,
Yep.
unfortunately.
And I got the
But
rib.
this is a kind of, I can model stuff fairly quickly. It's the
Mm-hmm.
unwrapping that takes a while.
Yeah. And here I have now I have the rivers mask and the flat mask and all that set up here. But I know I've done a large part of this before, so I can actually go in and see if I can steal that from a previous previous one. But that had it was an earlier render, so I should probably just skip that and do it correctly with this one for now. I think that's better. But now we're up to 2 hours and my poor back is kind of starting to hurt, so I should probably not sit and stare at my screen continuously much longer. So I
Hmm.
need to thank everybody who came. I'm going to save this and wrap it up here. So at least I made some progress today, some good progress. We got some things sorted out in World Machine, and I got some serious Photoshop editing done here on my Shieldland mask. So that was one task that was more kind of figured out how to do things, and another one was just get an hour of Photoshop editing in, and so it's making good progress here. So yep. Oh, welcome IT Candle. Yep.
Hmm.
Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm so sorry you got here the last couple of minutes. We've been up for doing it for 2 hours. So let's do some shout outs at the end. There will be
Hmm.
Jay is away until Friday, so there will be no game on Lord Gasumba channel tomorrow. We had no Legends and Lore today. That's why we did an extra mapping live stream. On Friday, though, there will be a fantasy mapping show where we would look into symbols. For Friday, so that is coming Friday, and then there will be a Gabin on hang on a second, isn't it Saturday? We have a special one with Rob, I think, if I remember correctly. But check on Lord Gasumba channel. On top of my head, I'm tired, so I'm not going to say too much, so to speak. But next week, I think things will be back to normal again, and there will be a mapping live stream on my channel on Friday.
Hmm.
Next Friday with Melinda and me again, so that we normally have. So,
I'm like a bad penny. I don't go anywhere once I get settled. So,
okay, good. Yep. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for coming in. We have 0% dropped frames, so this the stream has been very stable, and the internet gods have been very favorable today. So thank you everyone, and thank you all my patrons and stuff who make it possible for me to sit and do this. I posted one thing on my Patreon today. There will be more coming. I have 3 or 4 blog posts in the making, and I'm going to force myself to sit and write for a couple hours a day so I can actually get them out the door. And more heraldry and cool stuff coming. So thank you everyone for watching, and see you soon.
Yep. Bye bye.